tracing out the cracks in the pavement and tutting my heel and strutting my feet. Is there anything I can do for you, dear? Is there anyone I could call? No one, thank you, please, madame. I ain't blush, just wondering. From my hometown, memories of friends. From my hometown, ooh, the people I've made. How the wonders of my world, how the wonders of my world, how the wonders of this world, how the wonders of now.
924 million tourists traveled last year, and only 45 million arrived in South Africa. And 498 million traveled to Europe, which basically says to us that Europe is capturing 60% of the global market. So I think the game has been defined. If Africa has to increase its harvesting capacity within the global market, it needs to collaborate amongst itself. And I think it is within that context that MTPA is today signing an agreement to collaborate with Mozambican tourism and to collaborate with Swaziland tourism. And we've identified 5 areas of cooperation. 2010 is key. Secondly is joint marketing. Thirdly, we're looking at tourism development that can enhance our tourism capacity as the 3 regions. And most importantly, we've also looked at the issue of knowledge and research. And the last thing, which is very important for us, is tourism airlift. Until we can create a major demand into the 4 airports, that is Kukuza, KMIA, Swaziland and Mozambique, as key access points into the region, we will not win the game. So today is a major achievement on the part of MTPA as a province to get collaboration from 2 major neighboring countries.
Distinguished guests, local and international dignitaries, ministers, members of the media. My name is Nothemba Madumo, and I must let you know that it's a pleasure, an honor, and an absolute privilege for me to be your host today, especially for this phenomenal event. Well, tonight we are all going to be especially proud because we're here to share an exciting creation of a tourist region which is going to offer worldly diversity, which is cultural, recreational, and also ecological. And this is going to be to visitors who are not from just our local regions, but also from the African continent and around the world. Now, what is even more exciting, that this is happening at a time when the region is vibrant, excited, and anticipating a world event, which is the 2010 FIFA World Cup, which I believe is one of the greatest incentives for us to form partnerships and collaborations in making sure that even beyond 2010 and all other events, that the regions work together. And tourism, of course, is the best way for everyone to be part of and share and participate in the event such as that. But I don't know if you can, sense my excitement, but I know that you will also just be excited when you are exposed to the elements and details of what exactly this partnership and this collaboration between the MTPA, which is the MPUMALANGA Tourism and Parks Agency, as well as NATU, which is the Mozambican National Tourism Institute, as well as STA, the Swaziland Tourism Authority. And I'm sure when you get to hear exactly what all this entails, you'll be just as excited. But I can assure you that from this day on, tourism in the region will never be the same again. Well, you're going to hear all those details and be entertained at the same time. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to ask here today the person who will give us the opening address. And please welcome on stage Councillor Sipho Siwela from the MPUMALANGA local municipality.
Thank you, Program Director Mama Nothemba Modumo. The Honorable MEC for Economic Development, Environment and Tourism, Mr. JL Mahlangu. The Chairperson of the Swaziland Tourism Authority, Mr. Tim Zwane. Members of the Board of and Management of MTPA. And members of the Board and Management of Swaziland Tourism Authority. And also the National Tourism Institute from Mozambique. Representative from Business and Labor, our icon from the province, Brahu Masikela, our stakeholders present here, members of the media, distinguished guests, and all protocol observed. Good evening. It is an honor for me to welcome you tonight in our municipality as we are hosting this momentous event, the event of signing the MOU between the three countries. I think for us, this event takes forward what the President has indicated when he addressed the regional meetings that they had recently in terms of the cooperation that we should have amongst the countries, the countries in the SADC region. And this also is going to assist us as the country, the province, and the municipality as we are going to host 2010, so that all the visitors who will be visiting us here are going to be able to go in all these countries, because the event that we're going to host is not only for the country. We have always been saying that the event is the event for Africa. We are hosting it on behalf of the continent. So on that note, I welcome everybody. Feel at home. This is Mbombela. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Siwela. And now to give us a perspective on the importance of the regional integration, please welcome on stage the chairperson of MTPA board, Mr. SABELO MAHLALELA.
Program Director, Honorable Councillor Ubaba Swela, present here, the Honorable MEC of Economic Development, Environment and Tourism, Ubaba Mahlangu, the Chairperson of the Swaziland Tourism Authority, Mr. Tim Zwane, the CEO of the National Tourism Institute in Atur, who is present here today, board members of the three institutions, and the management team that is present here. Program Director, allow me to acknowledge one of our own, the international renowned jazz icon, Ubaba Masikela, present here. We're grateful that you're here, sir. A representative of business and representatives of labor, all our stakeholders present here, members of the media, distinguished guests, all protocol observed, friends, and ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Someone once said, "Aim high, thou wert not made to grovel on the ground. Aim high, the highest lies beyond." Today, we witness a display of vision of three institutions representing their people, making it possible for them to taste the fruits of their destinations as they compete in the global market. It is in this vision that we hope our people in our three countries will one day use what lies beyond as a magnet to bring economic growth in their own destinations. It is this vision we have of an integrated tourism destination that will create a unique product offering that will transform the traveling patterns of tourists in the world. It is by projecting the best we have in the three destinations that we will create a magnet to attract tourists from all over the world. The travel and tourism industry has both globally and nationally faced a series of challenges in recent years. More specifically, in 2008, high cost of fuel and lower tourism demand linked to the current economic and financial crisis has had a major impact on the industry. Yet this industry remains being the critical industry worldwide, in South Africa and in our province, that provides significant potential for economic growth and development. Despite these developments, the economic importance of this industry should not be underestimated. According to the World Tourism Organization, international tourist arrivals reached 924 million in 2008, representing a growth of 2% compared to 2007. The World Travel and Tourism Council estimates that this industry now accounts for 10% of the global gross national product, 10.9% of the world exports, and 9.4% of investments in the world. In South Africa, the travel and tourism industry accounts for 8% of the gross domestic product, sustaining about 1.1 million jobs, and the value of the gross domestic product is 200 billion rands. In our province, this industry accounts for 4.8% of the gross geographic product, sustaining about 130,000 jobs, and the value of our gross geographic product is 4.8 billion rands. Africa as a continent has only a market share of 2% of the global tourism arrivals. Only 45 million tourists arrive in the continent as opposed to 498 million that visited Europe last year. South African international tourist arrivals totaled about 9.6 million, of which only 2.2 million is overseas and the rest is from the continent. MPUMALANGA in 2008 improved its position from position number 4 as from the fourth to the third most visited province in South Africa by foreign visitors, with 1.3 million international arrivals. The following, Program Director, constitute key reasons for partnership among African destinations. The need to increase air arrivals in our respective destination. The need to address key infrastructure backlog that constrains demand. The need to enhance the brand identity of Africa and its respective destinations. The need to improve on the service excellence requirements. The need to ensure the correct packaging of the product portfolio within the respective destination. The need to provide affordable and accessible product offerings to the continents and domestic tourists. The need to communicate good news, images, and stories about the continent. Our broadcasting authorities on the continent are key in this regard. They need to create knowledge and competencies to address the global competitiveness of the travel and tourism industry. By 2010, international arrivals are expected to reach 1 billion and 1.9 billion by 2020. The Asia-Pacific region, Africa and the Middle East are expected to grow over 5% per year above the world average of 4%. Europe and Americas are forecast to slow down, growing at a lower rate below the world average. Europe will maintain the highest share of the world arrivals, but will decline from 60% recorded in 1995 to 46% in 2020. It is within this context, ladies and gentlemen, that MTPA, supported by the provincial government of MPUMALANGA, has identified a need to partner with Swaziland Tourism Authority and the National Tourism Institute from Mozambique in growing its tourism and travel industry. MPUMALANGA and Swaziland, MPUMALANGA, Swaziland and Mozambique are the most beautiful destinations in the world, yet so much about them is not yet discovered. It is through partnerships like this one that we are establishing today that an integrated tourism destination between three countries will become a reality. It is in this integrated destination that it will be possible to enjoy a breakfast in Nelspruit, a lunch in Baban, and a dinner in Maputo in one day. It is in this destination that it is possible to stand on one place and be in three countries at the same time. It is through the fusion of cultural exchange, lifestyle and nightlife exposure of Mozambique, of Maputo in particular, and Manzini in Swaziland, that it will be possible to create a unique nightlife experience in Nelspruit, the capital of MPUMALANGA. It is in this destination that it is possible that we can package ecotourism-based products of MPUMALANGA with the tropical beaches and nightlife of Mozambique and royal heritage of the Kingdom of Swaziland. It is in this destination where the great visions of both the Gaza Kruger, Gonarazou Transfrontier Park, and the Songimvelo Malolocha Transfrontier Conservation Area will be translated into reality. It is in this destination that the noble objective of the 2010 FIFA World Cup, to be the stage of the African continent, will be actualized. The activities stimulated by the 2010 FIFA World Cup, undertaken by the people of Mozambique, Swaziland, and our people here in MPUMALANGA, are a source of inspiration to us as MTPA. Together, we will deliver a world-class event ever seen in our integrated destination. It is in this destination that the earliest phases of the history of our planet Earth are evident, dated around 3.5 billion years ago. It is in this destination that the macroscopic traces of the world's earliest life forms has been discovered, thereby strengthening the argument that life began right here in the Barberton mountain lands of MPUMALANGA. For far too long, as three countries, we have not claimed our rightful position in the world of tourism and missed so many opportunities along the way. We have taken a correct step to rectify this tragedy. It is our plan to promote our destination in a manner that has never been seen before. We are now more than determined to turn things around in our destinations and make a positive contribution to the sustainability of tourism within the SADC region. This we hope to achieve in our lifetime. As part of the MPUMALANGA tourism growth strategy, it remains our target to attract large-scale investments to the value of about 10 billion rands in the next 7 years. To this end, we will be hosting a tourism investment conference on the 22nd of October 2009 here in MPUMALANGA. will be presenting to investors possible investment opportunities for consideration. It is evident that the traveling pattern of the world, that the growth of our travel and tourism depends largely on what happens within the continent, in particular within the region, the SADC region. It is my considered view that this partnership that we form today is based on sound business and destination fundamentals. We should in the near future investigate the possibility of partnering with Limpopo, Zimbabwe, Angola, Zambia, and Kenya. The future of the travel tourism industry within the region depends on our ability to make the region accessible to international tourists, but most importantly, providing tourist sites of global standing. Tourism is without frontiers, indeed without boundaries. We are opening a new chapter in the SADC region, writing our own history in the African continent, and making our humble contribution to the future of tourism in the global community. As we open this chapter, we do so by packaging a series of activities and events that will unfold from today. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have decided that today we will pronounce and announce this partnership. But the actual signing ceremony, ladies and gentlemen, will not happen today. We will happen in the next event that we are going to organize. Because we have decided that we want to have events that take place in MPUMALANGA, in Swaziland, and in Mozambique. So it's a rolling chain of events that will be taking place as we proceed. Today we are pronouncing and we're making our statement that as three partners, we are working together towards realizing the objective of an integrated destination. Ladies and gentlemen, it is this destination where the only window we know that belongs to God is found. We have said that we have God's window, and this is the only place where the window that belongs to God is found. In the book of Genesis, we learn about the creation of the world. God said, "Let there be light," and the light was there. He further said, "Let man have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." What seems to be an everlasting question to mankind, difficult to answer though, is where God was standing when he created the world. Knowing that the sun that gives light rises from the east, and the archaeological evidence of the early forms of life before us, one can now conclude that God must have been standing right here in the destination we're talking about today. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mahlasela. Can I be the first one to have breakfast in MPUMALANGA, lunch in Swaziland, and dinner and dance in Maputo? Thank you very much. And talking about Swaziland, it's now an opportunity for us to get a perspective and position from Swaziland as to what this partnership signifies. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the chairperson of the Swaziland Tourism Authority, that's off the board, and Mr. Tim Zwane.
Program Director, our hosts in MPUMALANGA. I'm not going to go individually to each one of our hosts. I'm taking collectively all of our hosts. I greet you from Swaziland, and I wish to thank you most sincerely for providing us with the hospitality that we actually now are about to witness. This evening is indeed a historic, occasion. The challenges of tourism that have actually been